Welcome to Women's Rugby Rundown 187 for January 27th through February 2nd. Women's Elite Rugby, WER, revealed the names, colors, and crests of their 6 inaugural teams ahead of their March 2025 launch. And Tokyo Sankyu Phoenix secured the All-Japan Championship title. Round 6 of the Celtic Challenge saw big wins for the Wolfhounds and Clovers, with Gwalia extending their streak and the Wolfhounds holding the top spot. And the Latin Cup opener, Benetton, Treviso, and Iberians Elche claimed victories, with teams set to swap opponents next week. As always, we round up all the global premier and club competitions worldwide as well. I'm Wendy, here to bring you the latest in women's rugby. This is your Women's Rugby Rundown, and we're about to kick off. We'll start with Sevens news, and this one is a big one, breaking from the New Zealand Herald. Sevens facing a fraught future as World Rugby suffers multi-million-dollar losses. This is about, of course, the HSBC Sevens series. Hearing that it's not going well, they're not making money, they're in fact losing lots of money, and a lot of it can be attributed to first-class flights for some of the World Rugby staff and some of other things as well. So concerning as we look at this series, and already with the Rugby World Cup possibly being canceled for Sevens as well. Now let's swap over to some 15s news. In the Celtic Challenge, it's been a fascinating 6 rounds. Of course, the Wolfhounds are on top, but Gwalia got their 3rd win in a row last week, and they are creeping on the Wolfhounds. So we've got a couple of rounds to go. In the opening round of the Latin Cup, Benetton Treviso topped the Iberian Madhadhanda, and Iberian Elche edged out Zebra Parma. Teams are going to swap opponents next week to conclude the competition. Brazil has qualified for their first Rugby World Cup ever in 15s, and they'll face Portugal on March 16th and Spain on March 22nd as part of a European prep tour. In club and premier news, defending champions Tokyo Sankyu Phoenix defeated the Pearls in the All-Japan Championship Final 13-5. The first ever women's professional rugby league in the United States, Women's Elite Rugby, has revealed the names, colors, and crests of its 6 inaugural teams: the Bay Breakers, Boston Banshees, Chicago Tempest, Denver Onyx, New York Exiles, and Twin Cities Geminis ahead of the league's March 2025 kickoff, with designs inspired by each city. We'll have more on an upcoming video. We updated our USA Club Women's Rugby standings on our site last week. Sharks lead D1 Red River, Atlanta 2.0, and Charlotte top D2 Carolinas. Little Rock leads D2 Red River. Pasadena also moved up in SoCal. And in D3, NOLA is in 2nd in True South, and OKC Bombers top the Red River Cup. The Welsh Premiership had all of their matches played for the first time in a while. It was round 8. There were wins by Bonnymine, Llandaff, and Pontyclun, while Llandaff remains atop the standings. After 12 rounds, Railway Union leads the Nigeria AIL with a perfect record, 58 points, but Cook moved ahead of Ballinkog after their win, and there were bonus point victories for UL Bohemian, Blackrock College, and Old Belvedere as well. After round 11 of Elite 1, Bordeaux remains unbeaten on the top of the standings with an astonishing 432-point differential. After 16 rounds of the PWR, Gloucester Hartpury cruised to a win. Harlequins clinched victory with a last-gasp try. It was a great game. Both have secured semifinal spots, while Saracens and Loughborough also picked up wins. All eyes are on next week's Exeter versus Bristol clash, with 4th and 5th on the line. The Thunderbirds and Black Pearls remain undefeated in the Nile Special Rugby Premiership in Uganda, setting up a huge clash between the top 2 next week. The BC Premier in Canada returns this weekend for round 5, with the Vancouver Thunderbirds leading the standings. The second half of the Iberdrola League will kick off February 16th, with top teams fighting for titles and promotion, while other teams aim to avoid relegation. All points carry over from the very first phase. Australia's Super W kicks off February 28th, with 5-time champions Warthogs defending their title. That does it for us this week. Of course, there's always more news on our site at yscrugby.com. Never miss an episode of Women's Rugby Rundown by subscribing on Spotify, Patreon, YouTube, or any of your favorite social media platforms.